Well, viewers, this is a hard one. This is a one that a lot of people have been asking for a long time that I've let go. It's gotten to the point where I've had to do something, and this is the covert relationship narcissist. The covert relationship narcissist series. This will be talk number 1 for those that have been in it. I've got too many messages. I've had to do something. I'm going to squeeze this in between the rebuilding of the bricklayer series, which has gone very well. No complaints so far. This is episode 1, the covert relationship narcissist, the beginning of disinterest, the rise of the false self. Now this can have to do with men and women. A lot of women blame men for being the narcissist, but hang on a minute, there's female narcissists as well, and they need to be confronted on this as well, because too many people are getting blamed for the wrong thing. A lot of people don't even know what a narcissist is. So let's get on with it. Let's get this done. It does not begin with betrayal, viewers. It begins with a shift no one confronts. That's the beginning of narcissism in a relationship. The relationship begins to die the moment illegitimate inner disinterest, now mark the word illegitimate, replaces present, honest connection. It's illegitimate. Narcissism will come through the door of illegitimacy, illegitimate inner disinterest. Right? There's no legitimacy for the disinterest. And you'd be scratching your head wondering, why isn't this? It's a sinful inner part of us that's illegitimate, and it causes an inner disinterest. It sideswipes the relationship. Nobody even knows it's there. Teaching point number 1, viewers. Micro disinterest is not accidental. Teaching point number 1. Micro disinterest is not accidental. The earliest fracture is not visible conflict, viewers, but quiet withdrawal. Attention is no longer freely given. It is redirected inward towards self-image fantasy or external validation. Self-image fantasy. These people begin to imagine themselves as something better than what they have with the relationship they have, and they begin to look for external validation. People outside the relationship that will contribute to the building of this person's ego alongside their self-image fantasy. And this is when things start to go wayward. This is narcissism. This is where narcissistic structuring begins. Subtle, justified, and denied, all in the mind of this person. Reduced attentiveness to the relationship disguised as fatigue and pressure. You'll see this. Number 2, increased internal preoccupation, self-image alternatives. You'll start to, where's this attention shifting to? Number 3, early emotional neglect without open rejection. Early emotional neglect without open rejection. And all of you have been on the end of this. And number 4, rationalization. Nothing is wrong while the presence decline. You know something's wrong, but they're not going to let on that anything's wrong. Teaching point number 2. The false self begins to replace the real self. So you're with the person, you're with the real person on the outside, but there's a false self inside that person that's beginning to replace the person that you knew. And instead of relating authentically, the individual begins performing. It's starting to become an act. You become a convenience while they're starting to follow the self-image, the outside targets. And image management replaces honesty. The partner's no longer engaged as a person, but as an audience or a function. You've got to be smart to see all this. Number 1, performance over presence. They're doing the actions of the relationship, but internally they're not there. They're starting to drift. Their lust is starting to deceive them to drift. Number 2, selective engagement to maintain perception. They'll keep you engaged enough to keep you fooled. Number 3, suppression of truth to protect the image. You know how something's wrong and you confront the issue and they suppress the truth. They believe what they're saying. You know it's wrong, but no, they just will. These people, viewers, are experts at what they do. You're not the first rodeo. And number 4, dependence on subtle validation, attention, admiration, and control. And they'll get it from you, and then they'll start going AWOL and look at people who can validate the false self. Now you're confronting, this is what happens, see, you start confronting the false self. Right? Something's false here. You start confronting it. But they take that false self outside the relationship and get attention in it and admiration in it and control in it outside the relationship. And so they start to drift. They start to drift where the validation and attention is. Teaching point number 3, viewers. Are you getting anything? Are you learning anything? You've all been through it. Illegitimate, this is teaching point number 3, illegitimate internal shifts go unchecked. You're starting to let things slip to save the argument. Illegitimate internal shifts go unchecked. You're starting to see something's changing here. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you know something is changing. And the relationship does not collapse because of one act, but because early internal deviations are don't tolerate it. Don't tolerate this person becoming negligent. What should be corrected is concealed. You just leave it, and you shouldn't. What should be addressed is deferred. Don't defer what you know is a red flag. Confront it. Private disinterest is not disclosed. Early dissatisfaction is not resolved. Emotional drift becomes normalized. You know, something's drifting here, and the standard slowly lowers within the relationship. You can't do it. You've got to keep the standard. Okay, so here's a practical example. You're sitting with your partner, but instead of engaging, you're on your phone, half listening, giving short replies, and you justify it as being tired or needing a break. And so they stop trying as hard. Nothing explodes, but something has already started to die. That's narcissism. Narcissism is the slow micro-incremental disintegration, illegitimately, right, for no reason except the self-image fantasy, that puts the relationship connection into decline. And that was a perfect example of that. Here's a reflection. Where have we, or where have you, or where have I already withdrawn in the relationship without admitting it? Think about that for a minute. Here's a challenge. Restore one act of full undivided presence in the relationship without performance or distraction, and you watch how it goes. It'll jilt the narcissism. It'll jilt it. Actually, it'll expose it and give you an opportunity to fix it. Because remember, narcissism is the illegitimate disintegration of a good relationship, and it makes it bad. Here's a proverb. What is ignored viewers, in silence grows in power. Narcissism needs us not to confront it, to parasite itself further into a relationship. See, narcissism's a parasite. It gets into the relationship and eats away at it until it's completely destroyed. Let's close with this, viewers. Disinterest does not announce itself. It begins quietly, internally, and often convincingly, if you're not on your game. But once attention is no longer governed by truth and presence, the relationship has already entered its first stage of disintegration of narcissism. Now, press follow, press like, subscribe if you're watching this on the YouTube channel. I'll be back with episode 2 tomorrow. Just a quick description of what I just talked about. It doesn't start with cheating. It doesn't start with fighting or walking away. Narcissism starts with something far more subtle. Disinterest. Right? I'll see you in the next episode, episode 2. I'll reveal that in the image on the page shortly. And I'll see you in the morning for Rebuilding the Bricklayer. I'm Pro Bricky, Count Straight and Pro Theologist on YouTube. Bye for now.